Hey VC, Final Community, it is Trevor back with another Flat Round and Spun. Here to do a contest entry for Steve at All the World's a Stage. If you're unfamiliar with Steve, please by all means check out his channel. I will be leaving a link to his channel in the description. Steve is just an amazing wealth of knowledge, especially of the classic rock era, because he was living through it, and just a super funny guy. I crack up at every single video he puts out, but he's doing a contest right now, tying in Bob Dylan and mothers, which his mother and Bob Dylan share a birthday, and also celebrating Mother's Day this weekend. He let us know that about almost 3 years ago his mother passed away, so condolences there, and he just wanted to make it special for a Mother's Day thing, so we got to talk about our mom after we talk about these covers of Bob Dylan songs. So full disclosure, Bob Dylan is not really in my wheelhouse, nor are the amount of covers. I do have enough for the criteria here, but though two of them are upstairs in the attic in my CD boxes. So I'm sorry, I'm not going to crawl up there to grab two CDs. I was given an ultimatum when we made this my wife's office that I could either keep all my CDs or all my records, so these would probably survive better down here than up in the attic. So I'm going to show graphics for that. So first one, not really surprising because it's been shown off to a lot in these entries I've seen, but Guns N' Roses version of Knockin' on Heaven's Door off of Use Your Illusion 2. Though I do have to say that is not the version that I was mostly familiar with. I was mostly familiar with, prior to that, them doing a live version off of an MTV concert. MTV showed this concert from the Ritz in New York as a full concert that they had on MTV, and that they did Knock on Heaven's Door, and it got so popular that like radio stations would actually lift that track and play it in regular rotation. At least in Detroit, that's what they did. So 2 or 3 years before Use Your Illusion came out, you know, I was already hearing this live version, which I actually prefer, and I will leave a link to that video in the description too. See if you can check it out if you've never heard or seen it. So that's my first entry, Guns N' Roses. Second one is Chicago band Ministry doing Lay Lady Lay. This is off their 1996 album Filth Pig. Not my favorite Ministry album by a long shot. A couple tracks here and there I like. And this cover is pretty good. Just kind of dirgy compared to the original. But it's a good song, heavy guitar, but still laid back at the same time. So second entry, Ministry, Lay Lady Lay. Third and final, one I actually have a physical copy of. This is To Make You Feel My Love by Adele off her debut album 19. What's special about this song is that this was mine and my wife's wedding song. So the one artist that we have a commonality with it, she doesn't listen to my stuff, I don't really listen to her stuff, but we'll listen to early Adele. Great song, absolutely fantastic version of it, and I believe a lot of people agree that, you know, she made it her own, and it's a fantastic song. So now we go on to talking about Mom. My mom unfortunately left us in early 1990. In 1975, she was diagnosed with rheumatism, which I believe nowadays is a pretty controllable disease. But back then, it was lots of therapies. I'm gonna try not to make this a a woe is me story, but just to give you some context. But it's an arthritis. You're real decrepit. It also affected her lung. She had what was known as rheumatoid lung. So she was bedridden a lot. She had her good days and bad days where she was up and getting around. But it really made me appreciate being a fully functioning human. And she would put me in my place sometimes when as a teenager I'd go off on my whiny teenage bullshit, and she would kind of throw out, well, we could trade places. Yeah, one-way ticket on that guilt trip. So, but it was fine. She also taught me to let people be them. As you hear the phrase, last few years, you be you. Be accepting of others. And try to understand others, listen to others. She let me be me, where I grew up in Clarkston, Michigan, the whitest of white suburbs, very Anglo culture. It was not really popular to have the long hair, the leather jacket, the metal t-shirt, because it was a lot of, just jock culture out there. So she told me, stand up, be you, and that I will forever appreciate. And I've, instilled that, or I tried to instill that with Grace that you guys seen a few times. In fact, she's asked me, a few years ago, do you wish your mom was still around? And I'm like, of course, I wish she was still around. But I had to tell her that if she was still around, that my whole timeline would have been completely different, and quite possibly, and probably the reality of it, she wouldn't be around if my mom stayed, alive, because then I wouldn't have taken that left instead of a right, and you know how it goes. So, but still think about her all the time, after these 30 some odd years. So, and then I'd like to give a shout out Mother's Day to my wife Carol. She's been an amazing mother to Grace, and she's helped Grace try to be tough as nails as she is. So cheers to all the mothers out there who do a job that most of us guys could never ever do. So anyhow, thank you, Steve, for putting on this contest, and we'll talk to y'all later. See ya.